That's the trick to syncing it up.
Oh, okay.
You get it with the clap.
I see.
Yeah. Can you hear it with your ears? Can you see it with your eyes? Can you feel it wiggling between your quivering thighs? That thing with James. Once every millennium something will come along. When you feel it you will know it, 'cause it's coming on strong. That thing with James. Sit back, relax, deep breaths, no stress. Let me come inside your mind. I promise you it won't take long, the change will happen soon. You will feel something so special growing deep within you. That thing with James. That thing with James. That's me. Hi, welcome to episode 6 of That Thing with James J. Asher II. That's me! Today is another super special episode because I have another guest, my second guest ever on this show. His name is Max Gilliland. Max.
Hello, James.
Hi, Max.
Nice to see you again, sir.
Good. Nice to see you, too.
That's the first time I've ever heard you sing, and it's really beautiful, actually. I was very surprised.
Thanks, man.
I mean, I didn't expect you to be bad, but I didn't expect you to be that good.
Oh.
Yes, that was very good.
Well, thanks, man. I appreciate that.
No, for sure.
Oh, yeah. Well, how's your day going?
Oh, swell. It's not very nice out, but
No.
good day.
Can you describe what it's like outside?
Sort of drizzly and overcast and chilly. And my friend Ivan would love it, but
Ivan?
he likes to post on Facebook about how beautiful days are when it's like this outside.
Is he Russian?
He's Puerto Rican.
Oh, yeah.
But he loves Seattle.
There's like Puerto Rican dudes and Dominican dudes. They have some of them have Russian names, like Dmitri or something.
Yeah.
I wonder what's up with that.
Torres is his last name.
Torres. No, that's not Russian.
Yeah. But we'll edit all that out. Sorry, I haven't.
Oh, no.
No, just kidding.
So
you wouldn't care.
you haven't seen the show yet, have you?
No.
Okay, so no worries. All this is just a hangout. Let's see, what time are we at? Try to keep it an hour. Max has to work. He works at a really tasty restaurant.
Yeah, we serve sushi.
You want to tell them
Sake.
where you work?
I work at a sushi restaurant called Soto in Austin, where this show takes place. It's in South Lamar.
And it's really damn delicious.
And expensive.
And really expensive. But if, money's not a thing, go
right,
there.
Yeah, or if it is a thing and it's just a special occasion, it's a good place.
Absolutely.
I'll say anniversary, birthday.
Yeah.
Sort of thing.
I think that was the first restaurant that I've ever been at where it's like the bite.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's all about the bite.
It's like a tasting menu, yeah.
Right, because I always see that on, food, travel food shows, and they're always talking about, it's the bite, you know?
Yeah. No, it's definitely worth checking out, for sure.
Yeah.
And most people love sushi, so it's it's easy to recommend on that front.
And you guys just got, a new, what's his name? A master sushi?
You know what's kind of ironic about this is that he is kind of new. His name is Misao, but he's leaving. He's going to work at a restaurant in Houston. So,
what?
Yeah. I actually gave him a gift of some moribashi.
What's
as a
that?
going away gift. They're these plating chopsticks. It's long plating chopsticks.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so.
To serve people?
No, you use them to plate things. Sushi with little delicate flowers and whatever.
He's using them in the kitchen.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're like a tool.
Okay.
Because he had a custom bamboo pair that was lost by, I don't know, somehow.
And you got him some new ones.
Yeah, exactly. As a kind of going away gift.
Were they bamboo? What
no,
were they
I couldn't find any nice. They were his were custom made, so the ones I got him were probably much inferior. But I got them on Amazon because
You got 'em.
prime.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, they're not cheap. They're
Well, that's
just
really
like
nice of you, Max.
Yeah, well, he's a great chef and a super nice guy. So, and also in Japanese culture, like there's a whole gift giving culture there. So
Right.
it's kind of not unusual to give gifts. And I read that it's actually lucky to give gifts in pairs. And this was after I got the chopsticks.
Really?
So I was like, hey, they're a pair.
So is Japan one of the places where it's like you pour someone else's drink for them? Like if you see their beers getting empty, like
yeah,
you pour it for them?
if you're like the host, yeah, or like another thing is like if you're like the man coming home from work. This is a kind of antiquated thing in Japan, even.
But they are like very
it's becoming less and less that, and the young people in Japan care less and less about their old traditions and cultures.
Right.
And there's less and less young people in general.
Millennials are killing Japanese tradition.
Well, there's a lot of old people in Japan, and they're all getting very old and dying.
Right.
But they're not having as many children, so like...
that's a big problem there. They're not having enough children.
It's a huge problem.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like all the like farm side country like villages and stuff are all wilting away because nobody lives there anymore.
Right.
The people that do live there are all very old and they have no one to take care of them. It's actually kind of sad.
Seems like a pretty broad, it seems like a standard problem across a lot of kind of like first world, sort of countries. Like here, there's people are having fewer kids, I think. I don't personally know anyone. I don't know that many people who are going to work on a farm or who are dying.
Oh no! That's definitely that's not the lifestyle that anyone wants to live in a modern digital era. But that's unfortunate because it's actually obviously really needed. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like we need farms and actually the number one like industry for robotics in Japan is nursing.
Nursing.
They take care of all the old people. Because there's not enough young people. Because nursing is another career that it's a very admirable career that actually pays pretty well.
Same problem here in the States. There's not enough people.
Yes. Well, yeah. All the young people there, they want to work at a corporate, high-paying city job.
And those are part of the problem of why they're not having enough kids as well, is because they're putting a lot of, at least from my understanding, like they're putting so much time into their careers.
Absolutely.
That they're just sort of, they don't have personal lives.
Well, and they don't have enough money.
They have
to live in a small apartment. I mean, imagine if you lived in a tiny type apartment in downtown Tokyo. Last thing you'd want is a kid in there, a baby.
Big people.
Yeah.
By those standards.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Architecturally.
Yeah. And we're much more accustomed to having open space, especially in a place like Texas, where everyone has a yard and all the streets are wide enough for 2 cars in each lane.
A dually truck.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's never been used. That has an immaculate flatbed that's been spray coated and this is no scratch.
I always talk shit.
Beautiful, isn't it?
I always talk shit about those big fucking trucks around. It's like, there's never been a speck of mud on that thing. You don't use that for work.
Yeah.
You got this for vanity purposes.
Yeah. It's just, it's an ego thing.
Yeah.
It's like Squidbillies. My boat truck. The truck pulling a truck with a boat.
Dude,
or a truck with a boat pulling a truck. Yeah, that's what it is.
Dude, I need to fucking watch that show again. It's been a minute.
Yeah, it's a great show. Yeah.
Truck. Well, yeah, so this is basically what the show's about. Just totally
really reached the bottom of the barrel with your guest list. So
what?
No, I'm just kidding. I'm joking.
You're fucking top tier for me, man.
That's exactly what Tasha, your refreshments coordinator, and Danny, your technical manager, said as well.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah, they're great. Your whole team is great. The whole entourage.
Wait till you meet Helga, crafty man.
Yeah.
Oh boy, she makes a mean brisket.
Yeah. No, I saw your team of masseurs as well.
Masseurs.
Yeah.
They're actually called massage therapists.
Yeah, exactly. No,
Masseur implies some less than, classy things are going on.
That's exactly what's not happening, right?
Right.
But yeah, no, for sure. I'm just happy to be of help and to be on your program.
I wanted to have you, you know.
No, I mean, yeah, I'll be a guest again if you'd like. It can be a recurring thing.
Dude, that'd be fucking awesome. Like,
yeah, look forward to that.
Like, the dude who, you ever watch, what the fuck, Pee Wee Herman's Playhouse?
Of course.
The mailman? Who's oh shit, I just remembered.
Isn't it like...
Morpheus.
Oh, yeah, Lawrence Fishburne.
Lawrence Fishburne.
Yeah, it sure was.
This might have still been when he was going by Larry Fishburne. Because he was going by...
He's always been Larry to me, so...
yeah. Like, he was in... You've seen Apocalypse Now, right?
Yeah, it's been a while.
Remember,
is he in Apocalypse Now?
Dude, he was like 13 years old. He was Mr. Clean. Mr. Clean! Mr. Clean! They killed Mr. Clean!
Huh. I don't remember that at all.
He was the young, skinny kid with acne all on his face. And he was like from the Bronx in the movie and in real life. I'm pretty sure it was Bronx. Might have been Brooklyn. One of the B boroughs. But yeah, he was like 13 years old or something. And he played the character Mr. Clean. He was on the PT boat.
Okay.
Yeah, and he was just like
I vaguely remember that, yeah.
Oh, so when he dies, like after... Like, one of the spears goes through their heart when they're, like, really going into the heart of darkness. And there's fog and everything, and they just, like, come out of the clearing in the fog. And they think everything's peaceful, and then just out of nowhere, out of the fucking bushes, out from every side of the river, just spears keep flying at them. Which is a direct scene ripped from... adapted from A Heart of Darkness.
Right,
which is what the movie's based on.
No, yeah, it's an incredible book.
It is. Incredible writer. So when that happens, they think they get out alive. They just like start shooting at the shoreline and everything, and just all these spears are coming in, but they all get missed. But it turns out actually most of them are just like little toy arrows, just little toy bamboo shoots sort of things. And they were freaking out at first because like, oh shit, it was nothing.
Right, it's like a psychological thing.
Right, except there was one actual spear that flew up and it pierced through Mr. Clean's heart. And he's laying there dead, bleeding out on the front of the boat. And it's like this really fucking heart-wrenching, poignant part where they just got mail from the States. And Mr. Clean got a letter and a recording from his mom, who was talking to him about, you know, we miss having you here, and your family misses you, I miss you, and just kind of catching him up with what's happening in the family back home. And they just find him, and he's just fucking dead. And that recording of his mom is still playing with him, with her telling him about back home. Really heavy part.
Yeah.
But
good direction.
That was Larry Fishburne, Lawrence Fishburne, Morpheus.
Yeah, of course we know now that was just a simulation in the Matrix.
Yeah,
it's fine.
Vietnam War, the Vietnam conflict wasn't real.
Yeah,
right.
The cave rave scene was real. Okay.
Yeah. I tried to forget about that scene.
that was the moment when I almost couldn't watch that movie anymore. I was like, really? This is how we're going to reinforce that humanity is different from the robots, is with a giant cave rave where everybody's half naked? Like, I understand what you're trying to do, but it's a little heavy-handed, guys. But those movies in retrospect are very heavy-handed in a lot of ways. And it works for the first one because it was super original and fun and different. But in retrospect,
second and third,
very aged, not well.
I was very disappointed with the second and third ones.
I mean, there were some moments, but I agree with you. Overall, the writing is just kind of like, what is going, no, this is just lazy and bad and weird. And,
Did you know the Wachowski brothers are now the Wachowski sisters?
I did not know that.
They have been for a few years now.
Are they twins?
I don't know. Let me look it up. But they did. They went through a transition, both of them, recently. One of them went through a transition first, like before that Sense8 show on Netflix. Have you seen that?
No, I don't subscribe to Netflix though.
Yeah, it's.
I do subscribe to Waterloo Sparkling Strawberry Water.
Let's take a quick commercial break from our sponsor.
Legendary taste of Waterloo Sparkling Strawberry Water. Yeah, which comes in many flavors, my understanding.
Waterloo has a much more pronounced and longer lasting flavor and fizz than other competing flavored bubbling waters.
The source from Austin.
Source from Austin?
I think, anyway. Well, Waterloo is the name of Austin before it was called Austin.
That's right.
Waterloo.
I think it's a lot cooler name than Austin.
Yeah.
And the people at Waterloo knew that too. So that's why they named their drink Waterloo.
0 calories. Great refreshing taste.
Great refreshing taste.
Legendary taste. That's
Legendary.
the official slogan.
0 calories, legendary taste. Make it last.
All right.
Waterloo!
Somebody from Waterloo is watching this out there.
Like, get that boy money! Please?
Or just free Waterloo,
or free
case of Waterloo.
Both would be preferable.
Yeah.
Okay.
Waterloo wrapped in money.
Wachowski trans. That's a good search term.
Oh, hey, we have some sort of nifty, Star Trek type gadget here.
Oh,
allows you to just access information at a whim.
Yeah. Let's see here. Lana Wachowski and Lily Wachowski.
Okay.
We're on Wikipedia right now.
Wait, what were they? What were their names when they were men? Their first names?
I think it was Larry and Lenny. Lana, Larry, Lily, Larry.
Oh wait, Lawrence and another Lawrence.
Lawrence and Andrew Paul.
I see. So if your name is Lawrence, you could just have an inn in Hollywood. Apparently,
they're from Chicago. And one is 2 years older than the other.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see if I can get to.
So wait, was that I don't know. Is that is there a publicity thing involved in that, or is that just some interesting sort of parallel, brotherly, we're both identify as women, let's just do this together.
Their transition, I'm trying to find some information here. Frequent collaborators. Jesus Christ, this is a long article. I know. Why don't I just collapse these fucking... Oh, because I can't. Frequent collaborators, yada, yada, yada.
Well, it's also not that important.
You ever see the Animatrix?
Yeah, I did. And there's 2 or 3 of the I think it's 9 segments that it's broken up into.
Right.
It was a while ago that I saw that, but I think I saw it in theaters, because it came out for some part of some film festival. Not film festival, but animation.
Yeah.
Festival thing, not festival. I don't know how to describe it. Austin has all sorts of screenings of stuff like that.
Yeah.
It might have been at the old Dobie Theater. Did you ever go to the Dobie?
I never went to the Dobie.
It was cool. All the different theaters had different...
Is that up on the drag?
Yeah. And it was there was this mall, and it's all changed now. But at the bottom there was literally this small mall with a little arcade and a food cart and everything. And then on several floors higher up there was these theaters, and I think there was 4 or 5 theaters, and they were small, but each one had a different theme. So I remember the Egyptian one particularly, because I think I saw a couple of different things in there. The first movie I ever saw in Austin was at that theater.
The Dobie?
Yeah. What was it? Oh, I can't remember. But I've seen some really cool stuff. I've seen the Forbidden Zone there.
Forbidden Zone?
Yeah.
What's
You've
that?
never seen the Forbidden Zone?
No, what's Forbidden Zone?
Oh, man, you should check out the Forbidden Zone sometime. So it's this super wacky movie from I want to say the 80s. All the music is by this very strange artist. Oh, man, I can't remember. People out there have seen it will know exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah. But it was in black. It's in black and white, and it's about this family that goes through this tunnel that is in a digestive tract and gets shot out into this forbidden zone. Huh. And it's a musical, and it's so weird and wacky and strange.
When around what time was this?
80. It's got to have been made in the 80s. Yeah.
I'll check that out.
God, maybe it'll come to me the people who did the music, because they're famous.
Well, I've got this magical device that can summon information.
The Forbidden Zone. The movie, I guess.
Forbidden Zone. Oh wait, that's song. Zone.
Oh, don't sing the Forbidden Song. Consequences are dire, my lord.
we shall not play the Forbidden Song. Let's see here. 1980.
Yeah.
Oingo Boingo.
Oingo Boingo does all the music.
Fuck yeah.
And dude, it's such a fucking mind trip of a movie. And so I've seen it in black and white, and then I saw the colorized version at the Alamo.
Yeah.
That's years later.
This is different pictures here.
And so I think I'm the only person I know of that has seen that movie only in theaters, and I've seen it in both black and white and the colorized version in theaters.
Damn, son.
Yeah.
Look at you.
That's my claim to fame. But you would love this movie. You should just you would.
I love Boingo Boingo.
Yeah, well, it's so weird. It's very hard to explain.
Okay, so here we are.
There's a character called that's the princess of the Forbidden Zone, and she's topless the whole time, and she's a fox. And that's it's a huge part of the thrill of the movie.
Okay, so the Wachowskis, Lana's gender transition.
Okay.
Rumors that Lana Wachowski was transitioning spread in the early 2000s, though neither sister spoke directly on the subject at the time. In 2003, Gothamist.com reported the possible transition. In a 2017 interview, Joel Silver, the producer of numerous Wachowski films, said that the rumors concerning the transition were all untrue, saying, quote, "They just don't do interviews, so people make things up," end quote. Yada, yada, yada. Blah, 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 blah. This is a lot longer than I... Okay,
sounds
so
like
there's
some hearsay, though, too, and stuff, so...
But there's pictures.
Right.
I've seen pictures. Like, when I saw Sense8, I didn't know that they'd gone through a transition, and I was watching, like, the making of. Because it was a Netflix series.
Okay.
And they just put the second
see.
season out. I haven't seen it yet. But there was, like, behind-the-scenes, like, making of stuff. And I was like, the Wachowskis. Like, I dig the Wachowskis all right. Especially in the first Matrix movie. And then, like, I was like, wait, where are the Wachowskis? Which one, like, who's this woman with these long fucking, like, the rave dreads, like the cyberpunk dreads?
Oh, just like the twins in the second Matrix movie.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. Did he also have the ability to phase through matter?
As a matter of fact, yeah. They were in San Francisco, so it was really easy.
So what is the show Sense8?
Sense8.
I mean, about sensing things?
It's like a sci-fi show about these 8 people who are called Sense8 is the word for them. But and there's 8 of them, and they sense things. So basically,
one tastes super well.
All these people, all these 8 seemingly unrelated people from different mothers, different lives, different parts around the world, they start having these, like, psychic abilities with each other at random points. And a lot of it has to do with, like, DMT. I think, like, almost every one of them is triggered by fucking DMT. Or at least a couple of them are triggered by DMT. And they just get these, like, kind of psychic powers, and they learn about some kind of, like, big bad baddies who know about these legendary, fabled Sense8 beings, and they're going to try to put a stop to them, and, like, you know, some evil corporation's going to control the world.
So it sounds like a mix of Stranger Things and something else.
Sort of, yeah. There's, like, a lot of fucking, like, there's a very gratuitous orgy scene in the middle of the first season. Hey, I mean, it's the fucking Wachowskis. If they're gonna find an excuse to put in gratuitous fucking sex, or gratuitous orgy, you know, pansexual orgy, they'll fucking throw it in there. They throw in some
Bacchanalian orgy. Got it.
Dude, they throw in some fucking peanut butter and hungry dogs if they can get away with it.
Alright. Well, I don't know why this makes me ask, but are you reading anything right now?
Yeah, I'm reading.
Always interested.
Oh, it's over there. Let me grab it. It's a book.
You're reading a book.
Yes,
that is an interesting start.
This a brief or a short history of nearly everything by Bill Bryson.
Oh, okay, that sounds short.
So it's about science. Are you familiar with Bill Bryson?
No.
He's a really fun author, and he understands word stuff, but not science stuff.
He's got a fun smile.
He's a
fun guy.
He's from America, but he lives in England with his wife and children. Although at this point, I'm sure, because this is a bit of an older, early 2000s.
A royalist, eh?
Yeah. The first book of his I read was called, it's not listed here, but Neither Here Nor There. And it's about, in the 70s, when he was in his early 20s, he went backpacking through Europe. And then now, in his 50s, he was like, I'm going to go back and see how things have changed. So he followed his track, the same path that he took, although this time staying in hotels. But he followed the path that he took in the 70s and just kind of recounted how things have changed and recounted his life and personality back then. Yeah, it's just a very reflective, but he's just really fun. Like, he'll crack a joke anywhere if he can. The thing he's known for, which I have not read, is A Walk in the Woods.
Okay.
Which is actually, it was adapted into film by Robert Redford, and starring Robert Redford, and then someone else, I forget who. Paul Newman, maybe? I feel like Paul Newman might be a little bit older than Robert Redford.
Yeah, he is. I'm pretty sure. Not a lot, but yeah.
Yeah.
Is he still alive?
Oh, Paul Newman?
Yeah.
He is, yeah. He's like fucking almost 100, dude.
Old, yeah.
And Newman's own.
My mom used to sell paintings to Robert Redford. She was a regular client of his.
Did he have a place out in
New Mexico? Yeah,
New Mexico?
Same thing. Or around there. He must have had a house.
You want to tell the audience where you're from?
Oh, I'm from Santa Fe, New Mexico.
Tell us about
the most beautiful place in the world.
Tell us about it. Give us what makes it beautiful in Santa Fe.
Well, that part of New Mexico is what's called like a high desert, so it's very arid. Right. But the
like Denver,
but the altitude is very high. Denver, they call the Mile High City, right?
It is. Yeah.
Mile is like what?
5,000?
Is it 5? But anyway, it's a good amount. But Santa Fe is 7,000 feet.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and then if you go up the mountain, it's like about 10. I want to say at the top of the mountains there, and the mountains are the Sangre de Cristo Mountains. The Sangre de Cristo Mountains are like the very southern edge of the Rocky Mountains.
Are they red?
Yes, they're called that because when the conquistadors first came to New Mexico, they noticed that when the sun was setting, those mountains would turn pink,
like the blood of Christ.
Yeah. And so the mountains in Albuquerque, which are very close and technically still part of the Sangre de Cristo, are called the Sandias, which means watermelon. So you can imagine why, like, the watermelon.
Because of pink?
Yeah, because of, like, this bright red, yeah.
Yeah. And all the seeds. Don't eat them, you'll grow watermelon in your belly.
Yeah. But yeah, so that whole part of northern Mexico is just very beautiful because it's got a very unique climate. And then New Mexico, the state flag is the Zia symbol, which is basically a sun on it's like a red sun type Indian symbol with 16 little rays on a field of Spanish gold, which makes sense because it's Spanish heritage at this point because, again, the Spanish took over the whole state a couple times and made missions and, killed a lot of Indians and stuff.
Yeah.
But the one of the reasons that's the flag, the sun, is because there's 300 days of sunshine in New Mexico. So, like, the skies are often very clear and, it's very open.
Is it really, like, consistently 300 days of sunshine?
Yeah.
Damn.
There's very little precipitation. And also, like, in New Mexico, you have a lot of days where there's these big, beautiful clouds everywhere, but it's not going to rain. You know what I mean? They're just big, beautiful clouds everywhere. Yeah.
What's the state bird? Do you know?
I believe it's the Roadrunner.
The road? Beep, beep.
I believe, yeah. I'm pretty sure that's correct. I think Texas, the state bird, I'm not sure. Texas has more state things than New Mexico.
The grackle?
No, likely it is not the boat-tailed grackle.
Yeah.
But, boat-tailed grackles are beautiful in their own right, if you ask me. They're just a little obnoxious.
Beautiful in an obnoxious, ugly way.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the males, they do have that beautiful long boat tail.
Yeah.
And they're kind of, they're iridescent.
They've got, kind of like oil, kind of a purple, blue.
Pretty beautiful up close.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a big lover of birds, though. So I'll find beauty in almost any bird, or even insects and spiders and things like that. Even the ugly ones have something at least interesting, fascinating,
Yeah.
That is maybe not beautiful in an aesthetic sense, but it's...
What about snakes?
Oh, snakes are incredibly beautiful creatures. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Are you scared? Are you afraid of snakes at all?
I'm not of the ones that aren't deadly or like poisonous. No, I mean a little constrictor or just like a garden snake. Or no, not at all. Yeah. I mean, I've handled snakes before as a kid and stuff, and they're harmless, clearly harmless creatures. It would seem like.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now, even if you get bitten by a small one, like, it's worst it could do is, like, break your skin a little bit. It's like, who cares? I'm not scared of being penetrated like that, you know what I mean? Maybe with, like, a dirk to the heart through a breastplate or something, but not by
what
just
about
a
a
little...
snake dirk?
Some sort of living snake blade.
Dude, that would be an action hero's name. Dirk item. Snake. Like Dirk Pit.
Snake blade.
Snake blade? This fucking razor's made out of snake teeth.
But no, yeah, I'm not really scared of any animal, I wouldn't say, or like anything in nature.
You don't have any kind of phobias?
No, like I don't like the idea of being like at extreme heights, like untethered, like, you know what I mean? Like that's I don't like that at all. Fuck yeah. No, like at a certain height, like I definitely get pretty. I once did help my dad paint a water tower for this movie. There's this terrible movie. What is it called? The Longest Yard or some shit like that.
Dude, yeah,
about
like Sandler movie, the remake.
Yeah, the remake, exactly. So that they shot that in just outside of Santa Fe at the old state penitentiary, I believe.
Yeah,
or something like that. Anyway. And I went out there to help. And so they had to paint the water tower that was out there with the Allenville or whatever the name of the place. I want to say that's what it was called because, like I said, they hired my dad, who's a sign painter, to paint it. For like too much money. Like my dad charged them too much money, of course.
I mean, fuck, he got the budget. It's Adam Sandler. He's got the budget.
But I had to go up there and help him, and it was very high. And that was like the one time I can remember being like, okay, any higher than this? Like, and I don't know because it's like it's scary.
Did you guys just have to paint like the fake town name on there?
Yeah, but like in very big letters, right, all across it. Yeah, right. Yeah, that's all. Yeah. I didn't really do much except for like help my dad stay secure and hand him stuff. Right. I didn't really paint much because he's an actual painter, but still it was kind of.
Have you ever had or experienced vertigo?
Kind of, I guess. Yeah, sure.
Where things just start spinning.
But I feel like that was more from like a lack of energy or something like that, not necessarily from like being not from. I haven't experienced it from like from being too high or something like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Or too high up, I should say.
I've experienced both.
I've had some interesting. I mean, a lot of people have had some interesting sort of feelings like that with salvia.
Yeah.
Or smoke salvia.
So
salvia can have like a lot of people talk about like feeling like pulled like to the ground or like in a certain direction, like or even losing motor control in some way.
Salvia, the times I've done it, I fucking hate it.
I spilled my water, James.
It's all right.
Oh, a little bit anyway. Oh, it's such a waste of the water loop. Oh, sorry, James.
No worries, man.
Was the salvia that I smoked earlier before I came over. Should have taken that big old pit. Tastes like cotton candy.
Yeah, dude. Like, the last time I did it, I was like, the last time I did it was the last fucking time I was ever gonna do it. Because I felt like I was on fire. Like, my nerve endings were like flames. And I just kind of felt like G-force. Like I was getting pulled back into the side a little bit. Like my soul was trying to get ripped out of my body.
Right.
It's not a fun experience.
Yeah, I enjoyed it, but it seems like everyone I've ever talked to about it has very different, maybe not experiences, but like vibe of enjoyment. You know what I mean? Like most people seem to either like it or hate it.
So the first time I did it, I did enjoy it. Mm-hmm. But every subsequent time I did not.
Interesting. Yeah, I haven't done it in a long time, and I don't really have any interest to. But, if nothing else, it only lasts for a couple minutes. So there's that.
So, but, like, speaking of vertigo specifically, not just, like, the weird, or, like, the...
Right, the, like,
G-force.
Yeah, the, like, being pulled in some weird way, yeah.
So the first time I ever experienced anything like it was with psilocybin. My first time I ever tried it. Mm-hmm. And, like, I was sitting in a friend's dorm room. I was a freshman in college, and, like, nothing was happening. I was like, this is I just wasted some money, I guess. And I'm just like sitting in the room, just like kind of chatting with some friends in the dorm. And I kind of like shift like I'm about to get up, and I ended up falling back down on my ass. Like I didn't get very far up. I was sitting on the floor, but like my plane of vision, it kind of cut in half horizontally. I gotta like imagine you're looking at a film screen, and the top half flies off to the right side, and the other half flies off to the left side.
That's crazy.
It's fucking like I've never,
like that, yeah.
never. Huh, you've experienced?
No, never have. Yeah.
That was the first and only time that's ever happened, where it's just like my field of vision, like the world literally split, like, boom, and I went, oh, I think I didn't waste my money. And then the next time that I like legit experienced vertigo was in Devil's Den, Arkansas.
Okay.
I was camping out, hiking around there, and I was going up these cliffs and stuff, and I was going up this one path, and I didn't realize like that I was going toward a cliff. I was just walking through these paths and stuff between the trees. Really, really gorgeous. It's like, it's the Ozarks.
Right.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just going through just this like winding road, kind of at a slight incline, but it doesn't feel too extreme, on this like path made of shale between these sort of like evergreen trees. And I'm walking and walking and walking, and then there's a bit of a clearing, and I'm like, finally, is this thing almost done? Mm-hmm. And I walk up, and I come out to the clearing, and I'm right at the edge of a cliff, way overlooking miles and miles and miles across the horizon. It's just these beautiful, smooth curves of green trees as far as the eye can see. The Ozark hills and mountains. I don't know if they're really short mountains or really high hills.
Somebody just called them mountains because it's like, that's big.
Yeah. Shit, it's the highest thing I've ever seen. It's a mountain. Well, I got out on this thing, like, because I didn't expect it. I walk out, and boom, I'm on the edge of this cliff, and this vast, hilly, expanse, and all of a sudden, everything tilted, like 45 degrees, and I, like, fell on my ass. That is the only time that ever happened. The world literally, like, we're sitting here right now.
Right.
Just imagine everything just kind of going, vroom.
Like the tilted room commercials or something.
Yeah.
Or the spinning room, I should say, you know what I mean? Where they, like, put a room on, like, an axis so that they can turn it around to make it look like somebody's crawling on the ceiling or some dumb thing. Like,
Right. It's a trick they've been doing since the 20s.
Film. For sure, yeah. Arkansas is supposed to be very similar to Japan in, like, as far as its...
Really?
Yeah.
It's like the sort of the geography.
The geography and, like, the big trees and stuff like that.
Wow.
Kind of mixture of those different types of trees.
It's called the natural state.
Mm.
And their thing is a diamond. Yeah, on the license plate, their Arkansas license plate in the center is a diamond.
Mines there?
I probably.
Huh. It's interesting.
Yeah. But there's like, I don't know if it's the most, but it feels like it has the most dry counties out of any state in the union. I'm sure there's other. I'm sure Utah's got probably more, but there's like a shit ton of dry counties. Like, it's hard. To like you drive across the border, because I used to live in Oklahoma, whose state bird is the scissortail.
Beautiful bird.
Oh yeah,
incredible bird.
Oh yeah.
I've only seen them a couple times driving through Texas, but yeah.
So the thing with Arkansas is, like, because in Oklahoma until like last year, any beer you could get outside of a liquor store could only be 3.2%. So it was water. So I used to think I could drink like a motherfucker, I'd be like slamming beers and stuff. Yeah. And I got to Texas, and I'm like, what is going on? Like, I get like through a couple beers, and I feel like I've had a 6-pack in Oklahoma.
Yeah. No, I remember, like, there's like some heady IPAs that they make around here, like Stash IPA, 512 IPA. Yeah. You have a couple of those, man, you'll be good. You don't need 3.
IPAs are like heavy.
Oh yeah, like 7-8% usually.
Yeah. 9s. They get up to 9.
Yeah.
There's some beers that I feel like are 13%.
We're so spoiled for beer in Austin.
In Austin, yeah.
The choices are insane.
There's like too many skunky beers for my. I don't like this really skunky beers.
Well,
I like a good like lager.
I feel you one. I know you don't love going there, but you know ABGB, their beer is incredible.
Yeah,
They've gotten really great beer, and none of it's skunky. So, there's that.
and they do have a really fucking good. Their muffaletta
Yeah.
blew my mind. I was like, why would this place have a good muffaletta, whatever, however it's pronounced. Have you been to New Orleans?
No, I have not, but I'm sure I would love it.
It's a 7-hour drive from here.
My good friend that lives there, that I haven't seen in a long time, so I would like to see him if nothing else.
Hell yeah. I think you'd like it there. Lots of history, lots of culture.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah.
I just recently read Confederacy of Dunces.
What'd you think?
Oh, it was great. It was a very, very fun book. Very interesting. Different.
It's kind of cartoony.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And I liked it. I have to say I didn't love it in the end. I feel like in the end I was a little bit kind of like
cop out sort of.
Maybe not a cop out. Like I felt like that was an appropriate ending. And I won't spoil it for anybody by saying what happens or anything like that. But I don't know. I thought more was going to come of the stories and the characters. I kind of actually liked the way that they tied it together, with like the Levy Pants and all that. And those characters. And I was satisfied with that. But something about the main characters,
it kind of went flat.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, well, or you? I guess. I feel like what the author was inferring was that the whole cycle was just going to be basically start over, but in New York or something.
Right.
Which is interesting, but I don't know. Somehow I felt, I don't know. It's a very good book.
I'm just now remembering the ending. He goes off, right?
Yeah.
He leaves to go meet.
Yeah,
right?
He leaves. Well, he escapes, basically.
He escapes, right.
With the minks.
The
Minkoff.
communist.
Minkoff, yeah. Marcia Minkoff, or whatever her name is. Yeah. But I mean, I love that character though, and he has a great voice, and it was fun to read. But I read so much that like I'm very particular about the things that. I mean, if I was younger, I probably would have said, "Oh, I love this book."
Yeah.
But having read so much other stuff, I'm like, yeah, I liked it a lot, but it's not as good as this stuff.
Right.
And yeah.
So the writer's name is John Kennedy Toole, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he was like seemed like some sort of teacher or something.
Yeah, he taught. I think he was like an adjunct professor,
or like history or something.
I think he was an adjunct English professor, and a lot of that book was like based off his real life. Mm-hmm. Like he had only lived with his mom,
right?
Shit, love life. He killed himself, like before that book got published. Did you know that?
I didn't. I mean, I knew that he died. I didn't know he killed himself.
I think he was 31 years old or something.
31. Wow.
Yeah,
that's
dude.
sad.
31, and he was upset that he couldn't get the book published.
Right.
And he killed himself. I think he shot himself.
Dang.
Yeah.
Sad.
And then his mom took the manuscript and got it published like shortly afterwards.
Have you ever read Jerzy Kosinski? Have we ever talked about Jerzy Kosinski?
No.
Jerzy Kosinski is this Polish guy, and the thing about Jerzy is that his life is like under there's a lot of mysterious circumstances about his life, and there's a lot of like controversy about him and about like what actually happened in his life and stuff like that. But from my understanding, basically he was in Poland at like when the Soviets started taking over or something.
Right.
He like forged documents and correspondence between like members of state and like university officials and stuff, and himself, like in order to get himself a visa to leave to visit America to study.
Right.
And like I don't know, he's just this insane person. Like
he's a writer.
He's a writer, and he wrote novels and short stories and some essays and stuff. But he just had a super fascinating life and was a super weird guy and a photographer as well. But his most famous work is this book called Painted Bird. And it's a brutal book about this gypsy kid who's forlorn during the Holocaust.
And all sorts of like horrible thing after horrible thing happens.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. And some of it is based off of Kaczynski's own life. Some of it is just stuff he made up.
Yeah.
And not really much is known about what actually happened during his life and when he was a kid and stuff, or like his family. So, and also like he was accused of plagiarism later on in life, which I believe is completely untrue. And I've like read about it, and I'm pretty sure it's untrue. But you know what I mean? Like, there's just a lot about him that's kind of mysterious and seedy. And now he was notoriously like sexual like fiend in a way, you know what I mean?
He's
like
deviant.
Yeah, like definitely was doing some freaky stuff like all the time. And you can, if you read his books, it's like, okay, yeah, probably that's pretty clear. Right. But his books are fascinating, and he's a very fascinating author and very intelligent. And his essays are great too.
With Jerzy Kaczynski.
Yeah. And he's probably one of those authors that you would either love or you would be revolted by, you know what I mean?
Right, right.
Which is understandable. But, I don't know. He also killed himself. I guess that's why I'm bringing him up. Because he killed himself, but he did it the way that is like the prescribed like way of bunch of barbiturates, vodka,
milk,
laying down in the bathtub with a bag over his
warm
head.
bath, right, to get the blood flow.
Yeah, and then you put a bag over your head, but you don't tie it around. You just keep it loosely so that you slowly asphyxiate and pass out and die.
Yeah.
But it was also one of those things where really nobody's sure why he did that, because at this point in his life he was successful. Like Warren Beatty was a really good friend of his. They used to play polo.
Warren Beatty?
Yeah, they used to play polo together and stuff. Yeah.
That's fucking right? Dude.
He's a weird guy. But if you read about his life, it seems fascinating.
I want to see if I can find a picture of him.
Oh, he looks kind of like you. If you were like even more Polish and crazy looking. But like he's also like, people say, like, when he would go out to eat, he would ask for, like, a radish and, like, some lettuce and, like, or a raw onion, because that's what he was used to eating. Like, you know what I mean? Because, like, coming from, like, his background as, like, a poor Polish person, like, during the Holocaust, like, that's what he would want to eat. Like, he was just skin and bones, obviously.
Huh. Yuri Kaczynski. Why the fuck is it coming up with...
Oh, no, not Yuri. Jerzy. So it's spelled like Jersey. Jerzy.
Jerzy. Zy.
And then Kaczynski is like... Kosi.
Or are you sure it's not Kuzukska?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Let's see here. Because that's pretty Polish.
No, it's not. No.
Okay.
It's Kaczynski. It's K-O.
K-O... Kosinski.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, Polish is crazy.
Yeah, there he is.
Oh shit, yeah.
Yeah, he's got a big hook nose though too.
Yeah, dude.
And these, dark eyes.
Yeah. Dude, those eyes look fucking...
Yeah.
Those are the eyes of a murderer. Those are the eyes of a murderer.
I don't think he ever killed anyone, but I wouldn't put him past it. He did have it, like I said, not much known about some parts of his life, so... And in
he's
his
just
books,
wrapped in mystery.
Yeah, but his books are great.
Huh.
I wouldn't necessarily recommend The Painted Bird, just
The Painted Bird,
because it is so brutal and just shocking and unforgiving and super sexual in like some really very brutal ways.
Oral pleasure. Kosinski as storytelling. Yeah, dude.
He's got his one essay about bullfighting, which I always thought was super fascinating. He talks about the matador being the personification of feminine energy, right? Because you have got this elegantly dressed, gowned creature teasing with these bright colors and dancing, right?
Right.
With this red. What does this red represent? It represents this menstrual blood and life and vitality. Right. And then you have the bull. And what's the bull? The bull has one thought. To penetrate. To pierce and penetrate. And the whole time, the feminine energy is dodging and playing with the bull. And also, but at the same time, you know what the matador does during that time. They
fucking stabs.
Yeah, they pierce fucking these, like, lances through its heart. They're aiming through its heart.
Not they don't try to fucking torture the bull.
They don't get hurt the first time. They get it, like, the 10th time.
Right.
But they get it. And then, so he kind of talks about that being a dynamic between, like, male and female energy, which is pretty, not necessarily true or correct by any means, but it's just an interesting sort of take.
So, my parents saw a bullfight
God, I can't imagine.
Like shortly after they got married, they saw a bullfight, and they saw the matador get eviscerated, straight up gutted.
God, dude. Well,
yeah,
I mean,
that was the last bullfight they ever went to.
That's the last bullfight that matador went to.
Yeah. And I'm sure they killed the bull afterward.
Of course, God, that's so brutal. They should not do
no,
that.
it's definitely fucked up.
It's so that's such a outdated sort of, barbaric sort of thing to do. I mean, we do terrible things in America.
Absolutely.
And we mistreat animals in ways too, but at least we don't do anything quite like that.
Yeah.
Or at least it's not illegal. I know people fight dogs and shit, but they get put in jail in theory,
Yeah. And just the way we kill our food, like raise and kill our food, or rather process, is how they refer to it, processing instead of butchering.
I agree.
Just, change the fucking term, find any way possible to separate yourself from the fucking grittiness of life, of reality.
Yeah. Well, and, I try and eat sustainably. I'm not vegetarian. And I tried it, and it was hard for me. But I'm much more vegetarian than I once was. Mm-hmm. I'm like incrementally more vegetarian, and like I said, I try to eat sustainably. And some animals, honestly, like some fish and stuff. Like I'm not too worried about the morality, the ethics of eating a fish,
right?
Unless it's endangered, or unless it has a part in the ecosystem that is very vital, and yada yada, on and on. Now, that being said, I work at a sushi restaurant, so, I'm part of the problem, as it were, in a sense, because, I can't say for sure. I don't know that all the fish we get is completely sustainable. Like, how could I know that? I'm not an oceanologist, so I don't know all that stuff. But I know that it's probably not,
In this book, I was actually just reading about, like, sustainability with fish and just ecosystems, and he was talking about, I think it was some type of cod or something that was very abundant at one time. So a lot of people were getting cod to put in like fish sticks or whatever.
Yeah.
But after a while, because the cod took so long to like mate and reproduce, their life cycles were so long.
They got caught up.
They got caught up and they became endangered. So now they've had to like go to other fish.
No, I mean, it's a huge problem. Orange Ruffy. You ever heard of Orange Ruffy? Orange Ruffy was a very, very popular fish in the 70s, 80s. My dad used to get it all the time. It was like one of his favorites.
Yeah.
The thing about the Orange Ruffy is it takes them like, they don't know how long exactly, but like at least 100 years for them to reach maturity, this fish. And it's not a huge fish. I mean, I feel like they get pretty big.
But it's really tasty.
Yes. So, but again, like if it takes 100 years...
That's not sustainable.
Then after one generation, you can't sustain that anymore because it's going to take 100 years before you can. So that's why you can't find Orange Ruffy anymore.
Right.
Like, and there's if you talk to, I'm sure, like guys who've been making sushi in Japan for a long time, they'll tell you, like, I can't get this fish anymore. I haven't seen this fish in years. There's got to be countless other kinds of fish that they probably got that they just don't. Not for lack of effort. I'm sure they fish for them. Yeah. They're just not there. Right. They're gone. That reminds me though, I have seen these really, really cool fish farms that are like buoyed. I don't know if that's the correct term. Maybe not buoyed, but they're basically like, imagine a giant metal ball cage, right?
Yeah.
Like 50 meters across or more, maybe even. And it's got, cross beams large enough for a small fish to fit through, but not for a large fish to fit through.
Right.
And so what they do is they just put this thing in the ocean, and they put it in a strategic spot, like a place where there's
a migration path or something, or a current.
Yeah, current, exactly, because the current will bring nutrients, right, and oxygen, and
so then they will.
Yeah, and then they'll just seed it with a bunch of little fish that they grew in a laboratory. What a specific kind of fish, like a fish that's desirable, right? A bunch of like thousands of baby ones, right?
Right.
And they'll just put them in there, and you think, okay, well, the babies are just going to leave. No, because that ball is a natural protective. That's what they search for anyway. It's something like that, some sort of reef, something stable that can give them shade and protection. And again, bigger fish can't fit through it.
Right, so they're protected from predators.
And they stay there while they grow. because they're being brought nutrients by the current the whole time, eating plankton and smaller fish and all that, right?
Yeah.
Then it just keeps happening. Eventually, they grow too big, so they can't get out, even if they wanted to.
Right.
And then you just pull the thing out and harvest it. Huh. And because you've introduced the fish as babies, you've not fucked with the ecosystem in any way.
Right.
You've just grown. You just used the ocean like a farm.
You're working sort of symbiotically.
When I saw it, I was like, we should just do that.
No shit. What the There's like so many fucking things in the world where it's like, why don't we just do that?
And I mean, they wouldn't work for every kind of fish, because certain fish, like pelagic fish, I guess, like have, like you're saying, migration. They have to swim. But I mean, who cares? I'm okay with not having that certain kind of awesome bluefin tuna, I guess. Yeah. If it means that I can still have fish in general and people will still get fed. Yeah. Like, and we can let maybe the tuna and all that stuff come back until we can approach it from a, ecologically and economically sound point of view again. Yeah. But I don't know, like, that's why, like, there's a lot of big problems, and obviously global warming is one of them, but I have faith that humanity can solve these problems, because it seems like with just a little bit of effort and science, it's like you can make a huge difference. I don't know if I need to check this out again, but I did see something about how the ozone layer is healing. Really? Above the ice caps, yeah. But I need to read about it further. But when I read that, I was like, if that's true, that's awesome.
Yeah, I hope that's happening.
But I mean, it would make sense, because countries all over the world have started making less CO2 emissions. Right. And I mean, it's just true. Like, there's more sustainable energy all over the world than there once was. And that's got to account for something. You know what I mean? Obviously, there's more people too. But again, like, a lot of that energy is quite efficient. You know what I mean? You can generate a lot of energy without a ton of income. And like, if you've driven through Texas, you've seen all the wind. Like, I'm sure you've seen the wind farms in Texas.
Windmills, yeah.
I mean, there's thousands of them, and the amount of power that each one of those can generate is a lot. So I mean, it seems to me like it's a solution.
I hope we get like totally sustainable very soon.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
it would be so much cheaper. Mm-hmm. The bills.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I'd love to have a Tesla, like, one, if I could afford it, but another thing is, like, my reservation with, like, a Tesla, I mean, there's no way I could afford it right now, but if I could, my reservation would be, like, I would be limited to Austin, because I know there's charging stations here, but there's no fucking charging stations in the country. Right. And that's one of the dilemmas with electric cars right now, is it's a catch-22. One of the arguments is, like, there's not many electric cars because there's not many charging stations. Right. But there's also not many charging stations because there's not many electric cars. Yeah. Catch-22. Yeah. Somebody has to
invest in one or the other. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, somebody has to build those charging stations. Or
I feel like that would have to be a government thing, because you can't fucking force you can't force a corporation to self-regulate.
I mean, Japan has offered to give us all of their knowledge about high-speed transit. Like, all of the technology they've developed, all of the design, all the engineering know-how, they will basically just give us that information. All we have to do is agree to contract them to make the trains. And that, you know what I mean?
Fucking pisses me off that we don't take them up on that offer.
I know, right? It's like, it would take a lot of money.
I hate having to drive.
It's like, Well, and also, like, in a country as big as ours, with as much square mileage,
it would make so much sense.
It just makes sense. Like, it just makes sense. Like, and it's even safer than air travel, which is very safe. Air travel is very safe, but like, imagine if you could take a train instead. Like, wouldn't you feel even safer?
So many fucking people that set the rules and perpetuate the rules in this country and all around the world. So many of those people who create and perpetuate the rules are fucking con artists, right? Scammers.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think
or just flat out morons.
The inherent problem, if you ask me, is that in this country, it's ideal. Like, there's this ideal of capitalism, and the ideal being that as long as you're within the boundaries of the law, right? Which, because of this, we have so many fucking laws of so much litigation of all kinds because of this exact thing, where you can do whatever you like to make money within the means of the law. And
but what does the law mean?
Yeah. Well, but also, when you do that, you also make it so that people can make a lot of money, and then money becomes the most important thing, because all of a sudden, some people have a lot of money and they can start using it to, control things.
However, it does not really address the issue of greed.
No.
What if someone doesn't want to share what they fucking got?
Right. Yeah, even if it's not money, or even if it's land, or
it's anything,
materials of some other sort. Yeah, you're right. No, it's
fuck
true.
Everybody else. I got mine.
No, you can't.
Fuck up all of you.
Well,
that's a problem that it doesn't address.
Mm-hmm.
So Martin Luther King said, Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said, quote, "You cannot legislate morality, but you can regulate behavior."
Mm-hmm.
End quote.
Yeah, that's true. You can make laws that change.
You can make regulations
allowed to do. Yeah.
You can make regulations that keep people from fucking over a lot of other people.
Yeah, I agree. Well, and also, the tax rates in America for people that were, in the top 5% used to be like
at their highest they were 98% marginal tax.
Right. Yeah. It's like,
from a Republican president turned it up to 90%.
Right. And what is it now? It's
like zero.
Yeah, it's like
like shit.
Yeah.
And if there is a percentage, then there's so many fucking loopholes or different alternatives that they don't have to do shit.
Yeah, and that just
there's no pursuit after money stored on tax havens.
Right, of course. No, and that just doesn't make sense within the logic of the system that if you have that much, you have to give it back in, because that's why the government's here. You're part of this experiment, whether you like it or not. Exactly.
If you don't like it, you're welcome to go somewhere else.
Well,
but
clearly,
otherwise,
clearly they don't, because that's why they keep their money somewhere else.
Yeah. And I hate that I said that, because it sounds like, well, if you don't like America, why don't you just leave?
Right.
But really, though, if you are going to participate in this collective
democracy,
then you should fucking we all help each other out.
Yeah,
is the basis of prosperity.
Yeah. Well, and at some point, if you ask me, you have if you want anything to get done, you have to establish some sort of government.
Yeah,
because there's just not going to get done. There has to be some committee or whatever in charge of building those roads and all that stuff that people need to function in a society.
Yeah.
And like you're saying, it's a society. It's not about I think that really is part of the inherent problem. It's just that it's not about society in America. It's about you as an individual.
Right.
It's about what you can get for yourself and your family.
And it's also about the idea that certain people may not understand, or they exploit those who don't understand that you can live for the group and still be an individual and still thrive and prosper and become wealthy.
Well, and maybe even more so.
It's not a black and white thing.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. It's kind of, it makes me think of, there's kind of two different ways to approach business. There's and I think I've talked about this before. The fucking discount tire company. That the huge national-wide tire company that just replaces tires and stuff.
Okay.
They have a policy that if you go in there with a flat tire, they just fix it. Right. Because they don't want you driving. They know that's not safe and they want to help you. You know what I mean? They just always will just fix. If you've got a nail in your tire, they just take it out, fix it, and they don't charge you. They have this policy about just helping people and about being good to their customers and about getting them back.
Right.
And that's what and it's if you look at it from that other way, it's you can either be a selfish asshole all the time about everything and have everyone dislike you, basically, or you could give back and show people that you care about them, and all of a sudden you're going to get more than you ever wanted back from everyone else, because people are actually really giving and awesome.
By helping people, by putting your energy toward the customer and the product and the quality of the relationship, by focusing on that yields
better
money.
Profits, or better just equity, within your own social dynamic, whatever it is. Just being better to people and being nicer to them will just be better for you, no matter. I'm convinced of that. So that's why when there's business practices that are very much not in that frame of mind, that are very much
very short-sighted,
or let's just see how much we can nickel dime the customer and get away with it, banks if it's notorious for this. It's it's like that just makes people resent you. That just makes people not want to use you. That makes people want to search out the credit union instead of, you know what I mean?
I'm with the credit union.
Yeah, I know. And like, this is why to me, it's like, if I was in those corporate meetings, I'd be like, guys, like, how many customers do you want to disenfranchise before we just don't have any customers? Or before, again, like, how many people do you want to disenfranchise before they riot? Yeah. Because you're not paying into the system. You're just making everyone else work for it. Like, again, coming at it from this point of view of the super wealthy not paying taxes, you know, like it's the same sort of thing. It's like, why wouldn't you just give, especially when it's so easy to? I don't understand if you're that wealthy, what do you want another Maserati for?
They turn it into smog.
Power. It becomes power, I think, is the thing.
Power corrupts.
Yeah, it becomes power because at some point,
Hobbit.
Yeah.
You start hoarding your treasures.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and but also just the knowledge that you have them and other people don't gives you power over them.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Because you're able to say, "Oh, I can buy this, or I can buy you out, or I can pay this person to do this, and you can't."
I think that's a question that necessitates some type of psychological analysis.
All right, but yeah, I mean, like on a societal scale.
I mean, it could be on a societal scale. Right. It could be on an individual scale. What drives an individual to
we need some of those sunglasses from They Live.
Yeah, dude.
Just let people start seeing things as they really are.
It's called LSD.
Yeah, right.
Well, let's see. How long have we been doing this? What time is it?
I would guess about an hour if I had to.
So, dude, hour on the dot.
Yeah. My mitochondrial DNA's internal clock functions are working.
Do you have anything you want to, tell them?
Any upcoming events I want to plug or something?
Yeah, man. You got your new movie coming out?
No,
new
not
book.
really. Like I said, maybe I'll be back.
Hell yeah.
And we'll discuss something. We'll talk about Nabokov. How about that?
Sounds good. You can bring some. We can read some.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
I'll talk about Nabokov's poetry. Which is an interesting subject.
I still want to read that. The one, the crazy one.
Pale Fire?
Yeah. I want to read that still.
Yeah, that's the book. Yeah. If you like The Land Across, so you'll like Pale Fire.
Yeah, dude. Okay, and then you guys, if you have questions, I want to answer them. If you need some advice, I am not a licensed professional, but I will give you answers, whether they're serious or not. I don't know until I say it. I won't know until it comes out of my mouth. So you can send your questions or comments, or please don't send any nude pictures or anything. I'm taken. So
not anymore.
Yeah.
There's plenty.
Yeah.
The screensaver has been running this whole time.
Yeah.
Of accumulated fan photos. So it's thanks, guys.
I don't need your fucking yowie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't need your brony pictures. Okay.
At least trim your pubic hair next time. God.
Yeah. Bible black. Tentacle porn. Okay. That's all right. Send your questions.
Or shibari. Shibari is the rope bondage.
Oh, dude, that's big.
Japanese rope bondage. Yeah. Oh.
Send your shit
to send your shibari photos
to ThatThingWithJames@gmail.com. That is ThatThingWithJames@gmail.com. And you can find me on social media, mostly on Twitter and Instagram. My handle is @JamesJAsher, and you can visit my website, jamesjasher.com. And I love you guys very much, and I love you, Max. Thanks for being my guest.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I'm definitely going to have you back.
For sure. Next time.
Bye.